It might seem a little far-fetched, but just hang with me. It's kind of scary. Skeletons, well, people who turn into skeletons because of some sort of evil stone, other people who have superpowers because of the stones, and some who become half skeletons because they have stones. But they all have stones, right? Boo, toy fans! I'm here with another October review, and today I'm actually looking at a line. It gets a lot of love from fans, but a lot of people don't actually know about it because either they just weren't around at the time or they overlooked it. There was a lot of media that was out in the 90s, so this is like one of those shows that it's okay. Like I've kind of gone back to watch some of it, and some of it's like pretty cool, some of it doesn't make any sense. But the toy line was pretty cool. Now, when the toy line initially came out, I actually passed it up, and it was through Playmates. It was just one of those I just never got into. I enjoyed the show, but I was never getting the toys. And it could have also been just because of the year. But what we're actually going to be looking at today, unfortunately, I don't have any skeletons, but I do have these two. I've got Ursak the Gaurdian and Prince Lightstar from Skeleton Warriors from Playmates. And this one was open, so I'm kind of wondering how he's going to fare up. And these are all the way back from, let's see, 1994, so that's almost been 30 years? Yeah, so 1994, I think I did it as, so 94, so 6 years to 2000. After 2000, you've got 21 years, so 21 plus 6 is 27-year-old toys. I kind of wonder if they're going to hold up or not. I'm pretty interested to see how these are going to work out, so what do you say? Before we get into that review, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, be sure to hit that bell for notifications, and comment down below because I love talking to you all. Please, I need to talk more. All right, what do you say? Let's get into it. Alright, toy fans, this is Prince Lightstar and Ursak the Gaurdian. Now, this is from the Skeleton Warriors line that is from Playmates Toys. And looking at them, they are a pretty good size figure. I think they're going to feel chunky in hand. I think they're going to be kind of awesome. Now, my Prince Lightstar was slightly open when I got him. This one has not been open at all. So I'm really interested to get in and see kind of what all comes with them and how their articulation works and see how they feel in hand. Now, since he's kind of open, we're going to kind of go off of this card so that way it doesn't fall apart. I love the Skeleton Warriors like skull that we'd get from the cartoon that would tell us some of the story here. We get this nice kind of golden skull that's got a helmet on it. It says they're bad to the bone, Skeleton Warriors. It's a new collectible figure and apparently numbered as well. So we, looking back on Playmates with their collector's numbers, I know this is something that Spectre Creative has talked about. Now, we do have a bonus fold-out mini-comic and a collector poster as well. Wow, that's pretty cool. So we get a mini-comic and a collector poster. Now, looking at them on card, you've got them here. You've got a whole bunch of accessories. And down at the bottom, there'll be kind of an extra little poster thing here that says that he includes spring-powered polarizer rifle, a bone-bashing good guy, and it'll have Ursak the Gaurdian, commanding warrior of the Legion of Light. So we get a little bit of blurb about who they are. Now, whoops, go into the back. We get, of course, Bad to the Bone Skeleton Warriors. We get a little write-up about the story. And then we get this really cool cross-sell art here. Now, what I like about this, it's got kind of a graveyard sort of appeal to it. We got all of our skeleton people here, and then our Warriors of Light up here. So we got Grimskull, Lightstar, Ursak the Gaurdian, and then down here we got Dr. Cyborg, Dagger, Baron Dark, Shriek, and Arcula. And then, of course, we get some extra information. We get a thing about the spring-powered rifle here, and then we get a nice lineup of all the weapons that come with them. Now, skeleton stopping weapons. We get a spring-powered polarizer rifle, bone, buster axe, a resonator blazer, and a skeleton finder, and of course, Lightstar crystal fragment, symbol of Alliance, the Legion of Light. And not to not have enough on there, we also get a file card. This is something that Playmates does quite a bit, which is nice. On back to the front. Now, Lightstar would have the same thing, except he has a different weapon lineup and a different card. Which is pretty cool. Now, it says here for him, he's got a light shard sword, a spring fired skeleton polarizer, a crystal blade, and a skeleton finder, and of course his Lightstar crystal fragment. So that's Lightstar and Ursak. Now that's the package, and the package isn't going to tell us anything else about these toys. We got to get them out and get to playing. All right, and these are the two out of package, and I have to admit they've got a nice, strong, kind of almost like a New Adventures of He-Man sort of vibe to them. I'm thinking like futuristic, muscle-bound sword and sorcery, kind of everything but the kitchen sink, and it really works in this instance. I mean, I like the skeletons, but I really dig the human warriors right now because I like their connection to looking kind of like the New Adventures of He-Man type stuff. They are going to be a lot bigger, and these actually stand right at about 5.5 to 6 inches, so they're fairly tall. You can actually compare them to like Hasbro's 6-inch collection of Ghostbusters here. They're just a little bit taller, not by much, so I'm really putting them in the 6-inch scale. Things to notice. If you look, I have a lot of accessories down here on the ground. Reason why? They have no place to hold them. And that's always been a kind of a big pet peeve of my friend Jeff's. This is starting to become a bit of a pet peeve for me as well with this particular line. We got away with it a little bit with Flash Gordon, but we didn't have that much in Flash Gordon. Whereas here, we've got 3 accessories that can't be held. Technically, we would have had 4. Because my Prince Lightstar, the reason why the package was open was the sword or the little crystal knife had been stolen, so it's not there anymore. Now, we did get this awesome poster. We'll open it up, kind of look at it. It's got some beautiful artwork on there. And the poster's kind of long. So you come down here, get bad to the bone, get the skeleton warriors, and then of course the Guardians of Light on there. And it's got a nice kind of sci-fi style painting. And then on the back is your mini comics. So they are all together in one thing. Of course, the warriors at the bottom. Now, with that being said, I was like, awesome. So I got 2 mini posters and 2 comics. And yes, I did here and here, which is also the same exact thing. So I've got one I guess I can frame and put up somewhere, and one from my archive. And I think that that was kind of an ongoing thing with a lot of these, where they probably all got the same issue and poster. It's nice it was put in, but I'm not seeing a lot of like difference in, you know, what's been given to us. Now, let's take a look at Ursak. Now, we'll go over basic articulation on these figures. For the human figures, of course, you had a swivel head, and mine's pretty tight. Had a swivel waist. You had a ball hinge shoulder, and there is some hindrance with these shoulder pads here. Ball hinged. You have a hinged elbow. No wrist articulation. You do have a rather weird ball jointed leg, and it's kind of stiff at parts. You can kind of see the joint in there. Think about like Bravestar. You could pop that off and pop them back on. And then of course you had a hinged knee, and then no boot articulation cuts or ankle cuts. Now the detail on them is absolutely amazing. A couple things to notice: the paint gloss on his face makes him look a little oily or fake, so that's just a little weird. but the rest of the paint on him is absolutely amazing. And then of course he's got that little stone there in his belt buckle. Now, my one thing that I was looking at is like, he's got this nice kind of gun sculpted here. How cool would that have been to have had a working holster on him that we could have either put the axe or his secondary blaster in, so he had a place to hold it. And since they all come with this tracker, skeleton tracker, that opens up and it's got a nice thing, how hard would it have been to have like a little hook on his belt to hook that on so he could hold pretty much most, if not all, of his accessories. As of right now, he can't. Now, he does come with that spring-powered rifle, and whoa! Oh, sorry, Prince Lightstar. Whoops. Uh-oh. For the most part, it fires pretty well. It's a pretty powerful spring-loaded weapon. I mean, all the way to now, I don't even know how many years old I said it was, but it still fires really well. That's a good sign. Now, for mine, his legs are a little loose, which makes him a little wobbly and weird, but that's okay. Now, for Prince Lightstar, we get the same articulation with the head, shoulders, wrist, legs, waist, etc. And of course the gem on there, except on his sword arm, which we know it's a sword arm because of the way his hand is built. It is built completely around. The only thing he can hold there is his sword. So that's obvious. They want us to have only his sword in that hand. Well, I guess that'll have to work. So on his sword arm, he does have a bicep cut. So he's able to slash. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. He also comes with a removable cape, which I think works. Of course, we get all the detail in the back, which is super nice. Again, armor-wise, it looks like something that would come out of New Adventures of He-Man. And then he's able to hold his spring-powered blaster. Like that. Let's try his. Let's return the favor. Yep. Works well. I like the figures and I think they're fun. But I still like the idea that they could hold everything and almost feel that this should be modded so they can. Now, these are no longer in the market because they're really old. If you find them, they're going to be secondhand, and that's just the way it is. eBay is a good place to look for these. Amazon probably wouldn't try. Sometimes you can find parts and accessories on Blue EJ, which I might have to replace that missile since I've lost it somewhere over there, and probably want to replace my knife at some point. Now, if you happen to go out looking for these toys, good luck with the toy hunt. This episode of TayRayGun was sponsored by Marvin Dog Media. To learn more about Marvin Dog Media, visit www.marvindogmedia.com. If you liked the video, be sure to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Comment down below to let YouTube know that you like what I'm making. And be sure to hit that bell notification so you get updates to future content.